Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studios. Good evening, everybody. Hope you enjoyed your 80-degree weather with humidity. It was a beautiful summer day. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. I got Chip Hayner with me and Smoking Jim Frazier. Got a lot of sports to talk to you about. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks also for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between. We appreciate you watching and liking our show. We got 6,766 likes on Facebook. I appreciate all those likes. Thank you very much. And we got a lot of sports to talk to you about. And I have some promos to bring up. I may need somebody to work the camera here for the promo. Zach, that right one. Right there, buddy. Right there.
You the man.
Get in on that. Do a close-up on Olive Oil's Pizzeria. You can't beat them.
He's quick.
Give them a call, 412-831-1900. Talk to Mitch or Katie there. They'll make you up a nice pizza and hoagie like they did for us. Check it out. Another promo, the Bethel Park Historical Society. Right there at South Park Road. You can't miss the big red trolley, the old trolley there. Give me a good close-up here, Zach. Excellent, buddy. That's Zach there. Zach Taylor, our volunteer, the only one here. Devin Shea missed out. He got kept at work. But check out the Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. Go to their website. They got a few events coming up. Check it out. They do different promotions in the area and have an open house coming up there. So I'll get more information for you. It may be coming up sooner than I think. Check that out. Another one, Joey Favis Childhood Cancer Foundation. They just did their 5K. I was with Steve, the Rookie of the Year Fisher. We filmed about a half-hour show of the 5K, 1 mile walk and run. People were dressed up as superheroes, interviewed a bunch of people, and we had a beautiful summer day before Florence hit us the last day or so. So it was a great day on Sunday. I won't talk Steelers, but, you know, they played. And Dave Cable likes having some fun at my expense. Here's another promo, Zach, if you want to come in. Wow, is he quick on that. I want you for BPTV so you can be here like Zach, running our control room. He's only 14 years old. He's running the control room and running the cameras. What a job he's doing. I want you for BPTV. You can volunteer and help us out in our studio for our shows, just like Zach right here. And give Dave Cable a call, 412-831-3304. Say you want to volunteer. Have another 501c3, the bpcf.org. Might need a little assistance, Zach, one more time. Get this sheet. I got it up here for you. That's perfect. You're good. They have from $100 to $5,000 available for your organization or group in Bethel Park. And if you're doing anything that's good in the community, you can get an application at bpcf.org and apply for money there. They have it. They will provide it. So check that out. All right, we'll get back to, we have a sponsor for our show. He sponsors What's on Your Mind, Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station, past Trax Farm in Mineral Beach, right down there on 88. You can give him a call, 724-348-4715. Give him a call. He works on anything and everything that runs on gas. And he does a good job, just a great guy. And they got a great shop there. So check that out. All right. I guess I got to ask Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Coming at you.
you got to see Levine. I tell you what, hey, Chipper, I got to tell you what, Friday night, I'm going over to Ringgold High School to watch Gateway put up 70 on Ringgold. I guess the Eloquippa coach should have stayed in retirement, huh?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, isn't Semantic there?
Yeah, they're owing about. I don't think they've covered under 50 points.
They
yeah.
haven't scored a point.
They haven't scored a point all
No.
year. Wow, that all goes on his record.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
They can't take that away. They can just talk it away like you do, brother.
But, yeah, I'll be there. And, hey, congratulations to the University of Pittsburgh for beating Georgia Tech. Get back on the winning track. Ain't nothing wrong
Oh,
with
so
that.
we're not firing Narduzzi this week.
No, I would have been
Okay,
fired
so
him,
there's
but-
two coaches we're not firing this week.
Yeah.
Narduzzi and Hurdle. That leaves.
Whoa.
But what's on my mind is the top 10 most vicious hitters in City League and WPIL history, or either or. And I'll start with number 10, a killer out of Clareton named Raymond Weatherspoon. Was outstanding. Went to Penn State before he got kicked out of there, and then finished his career at Pitt. How about Louis Biondi Jr.? Went to a school near Monroeville.
Penn
How-
Hills.
Oh, where do you go? Franklin Regional, huh? Penn Hills.
How
Okay,
about
was his father the car dealer?
yes,
Okay,
and he owns it now.
I
Yeah, that's who you bought the car from,
I
yeah.
no, I bought a car from there, but I also took care of his father's lawn.
I didn't know
Whoa.
that. Wow. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, we got a little bit there. How about number 8, the only retired jersey in Duquesne High School history went to George Little, played at Iowa State back in the day. How about number 70? Nickname was Ronnie Lott. Ronnie Dillon from Gateway. What a devastating hitter he was. How about number 6B? Aaron Donald, school near Monroeville.
Just west, huh? Just
Penn
west.
Hills.
On the
Penn-
on the
Penn
western
Hills.
border.
How about number 6? Damon Gibson, outstanding player in high school and at Pitt. Went to a high school near Monroeville. How about number 5? And he might have should have been higher on this list. Paul Polosny from Hopewell High School.
Paul Pozlesny.
Polosny.
Pozlesny.
Thanks for
You guys
the,
are
And you're
struggling.
supposed to say Gesundheit.
thank you. I just sometimes you got to go to the white trash.
11 years in the NFL. Just
love it.
retired from the Jacksonville Jaguars last
And
year.
one of the best high school fullbacks I ever seen. How about number 4, former Parade All-American from Brashear, Mike Booth? How about number 3, Sean Gilbert Aliquippa? Number 2, played for the Denver Broncos, played at Arizona State, wore number 75, was a great middle linebacker at Wilkinsburg, Walt Boyers, and the number 1 most vicious hitter of all time. And he's in poor health right now, so he needs your prayers. None other than Bill Fralick from a school near Monroeville.
You're not doing
Penn
well?
Hills.
No, he couldn't make it back for the Hall of Fame. You know, he was a first class inductee in the Hall of Fame with Dan Marino and those guys. Pitt Hall of Fame.
Sorry to hear that.
Back, yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
So keep Bill Fralick in your prayers. One of the hardest workers and most vicious hitters I ever see.
And he was
And
an
that's what's
offensive
on my
lineman. And he was an offensive lineman.
Yeah, in college, but in high school, boy, nobody ran on that defense when he was there. But honorable mention goes out to LeVar Arrington, Sean Lee.
How many are
Brandon
on that
Short.
list? That was more than 10.
There's a
You're like
few I missed.
15.
Ronnie Graham, honorable
But
mention.
Curtis
Should've
Bray.
made- Curtis Bray. Curtis Bray probably should have made the list. Curtis Bray probably.
May he rest
should've
in
made the
peace.
list. May he rest in peace. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
very
that's what's
good.
on my mind. Kurt Angle should have been on that list.
Kurt Angle.
Yeah, he was tough.
You should have seen his brother Mark,
Mark.
Angle playing football.
I heard
One of
he
the
was an
toughest
animal.
guys I ever saw in my
Keystone
life.
Oaks, right?
Little side story: we're playing Mount Lebanon one game,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like gentlemen. They'd say, "Excuse me," huddle up, bump into, "Excuse me." Well, there's a big pile up, and I'm blocking a guy, and there's a pile of people around me, and somebody's screaming. Somebody's yelling. He just bit me.
And then apologized.
That was Mark Angle.
I got to love it.
And then he apologized,
No,
right?
no, the kid didn't. That was one of the few times there was no apology.
That's funny.
I heard it and saw it at the game. One of the toughest in Dormont history. That's a whole nother era. I showed my picture from KO, senior year picture.
Saw that.
Show you.
It's
Saw that.
amazing how
Football.
many people never thought any of you guys played ball as funny as me too. But you know, I just want to say one thing before we go to Chipper. It's just you know, I miss my pitching days in farm league, little league, and pony league. I used to pitch to contact back then, so I was doing it before.
They didn't even name
I
it.
was doing it before the
What were you,
Pirates
James? What were you
made
pitching?
it.
What were you pitching to contact? The bat or the batter?
In Little League Smoking Jim, I averaged 2 strikeouts per inning.
That's amazing.
I struck 2 out. I had 2 no-hitters.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
but I did lose 1 game. I was 7-0, 7-1, and
Wow.
we had a co-championship that year.
Well, between farm league and little league, I can't remember my pony league record. I only lost 1 game. It was in the championship game.
How many did you pitch? Thank you. Your silence is deafening.
Here,
We'll
Josh.
go to Chip Hayner right now. What's on your mind, Chip, after we heard from
All righty.
Smoking
Well,
Jim?
thank you, Alan. And everybody knows that, you know, I'm an avid Pittsburgh Pirate fan, season ticket holder. And yes, by the way, in case you were wondering, Jim, I've already renewed my ticket package for next year. So, yes, I'm back on board. But, you know, last week we ran out of time, didn't get a chance to talk about the Pirates. And all I've heard ever since January, when the Pirates decided to trade Andrew McCutchen, face of the franchise for the last 9 years, and sorry about that, folks. I want you to be able to hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
Testing. Check. 1, 2, 3.
face of the franchise for 9 years. And Garrett Cole was was a #1 draft pick of the Pirates, who was supposed to be the ace of the future. And well, the Pirates went ahead and moved on from those 2 players, and then finally broke up the team that had gone to 3 playoffs in a row. Ended
Wow.
20 years of futility for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And in my humble opinion, right now the Pirates are 75 and 74. I said this at the beginning of the season, and I'll reiterate it again. The Pirates are going to be better this year than anybody has given them credit for, and they have held my prophecy to be true. Pirates are 75 and 74 right now. 13 games left, and they do have the potential to end up with a winning season. 7 more games, and they're at 82 wins. And I think
They only got to play about 500 ball to do it.
I would have to say, for all the criticism and ridicule that have been heaped upon the Pirates and upon Clint Hurdle, that this may be his best managing job yet as a professional major league manager. If you look at what he went into the season with, he went into a season with 5 pitchers on his starting pitching staff. There were 4.5 question marks and 1 proven major league veteran. And the Pirates pitching staff has proven to be above and beyond what anybody expected. The future of the Pirates pitching staff is strong. Going into next year, some trades were made this year. I think the Pirates are going to be set as far as pitching goes for next season. And, you know, we're bringing up a lot of the young kids. And a lot of the young kids are proving that, you know what, they might belong here in the major leagues. And that looks like the next generation of Pirate playoff contenders. And I do believe that the Pirates will once again be contenders for the playoffs next year. I want to give a big, hearty round of applause for the Pittsburgh Pirates, for Clint Hurdle, for Neil Huntington, and yes, this is going to get some people going. Yes, sir, for Bob Nutting for putting this group together and keeping them together.
Bottom line, Bob.
Because for all the criticism that everybody gave them, they had a plan and they stuck to their plan, and it's bearing fruit, okay? So all the critics, in my humble opinion, were wrong, and it looks like the people that are running the team have it headed in the right direction. I just want to give a well done to the Pittsburgh Pirate organization and to the manager and the players on the field, and That's what's on my mind.
Okay, ask one question, Chip, and I really
Sure.
don't know the answer to it, so I want to ask it.
Okay,
as-
I'll answer you.
Well, you're not a lawyer. Most lawyers ask questions they know answers to.
Yeah, I don't know. The
You do that
answer.
most of the time, but not tonight.
Since he's been traded here, how's Archer doing?
Archer has been underperforming. Okay, but Chris Archer is a quality major league starter, and I brought this up the last show. I do believe that with some work, and I believe they're working with him right now. I believe that Chris Archer is tipping his pitches, and you know he's always had two pitches. He's already had a very good fastball, and he's got a swing and miss slider. And I don't know if he can add another pitch to his arsenal, or if he's just tipping his pitches. But it seems to be that his control is somewhat off, because he will throw a fastball that, you know, you'll just sit there and look at it. It's like, how did he do that? And then the next one he'll throw, it'll be nice and fat and juicy right across the heart of the plate. Like, he's off somewhere, and I believe it's something that can be fixed. Okay? But the two better pitchers on the staff, who I think will be your number one and number two going into next year, is going to be Jameson Taillon, who for 19 games in a row has given up 3 runs or less, and Trevor Williams, who has had a hand in more than half of the Pirates' shutouts this year. Those right there is going to be your 1 and your 2. Ivan Nova has been a solid starter this year. Archer will be everything that we need him to be, and that leaves you with the with the 5th starter, which there are a number of candidates available. Nick Kingham has filled that role. They've got that kid in Indianapolis, who they say is a can't miss prospect. But you know, we've heard that before. Tyler Glasnow can't miss.
The first 3 guys you mentioned weren't guys that they traded Austin Meadows for, right? That was Archer. So you answered my question. Thank you, Chip.
And what that has to do with anything is beyond me. So I'll pass it off to Al.
Chipper, you gave away Austin Meadows for a tipper. Got a tip off his pitches.
But you know, Austin Meadows isn't even good enough to make it into the major leagues, Jim. Okay, I mean, we traded him to a team that's worse off than us, and he didn't find a way onto the field. So explain that one to me.
That'll be after the show, fellas. Smoking Jim likes to stir it up, and he knew the answer to your question.
But I got an
I
answer.
mean, he looks for something negative. He found it.
Yeah, and
Why can't we have something positive?
And I've always got something to say, because you know me, my Italian heritage. I'm always going to get the last word in.
I understand that. That's why ding, 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 round 2 will begin a little later. What's on my mind is Steelers. It's that time of year.
Yes, sir.
And it's so disappointing. They played 2 games. I had a bad feeling about the game. First of all, Smoking Jim bet on Kansas City and told me that at the fights. So I had a bad feeling, and my friends at Shady Mugs were playing last show of the year at Tiki Bar near Mineral Beach. So I said, they're playing from 2 to 6. I'm not even watching the Steelers. I'm there, and people know I like sports. They said, hey, did you hear the Steelers score? I go, no. They go 21-0. They go,
like
we're
Jacksonville.
gonna start announcing that instead of watching the Steelers, come watch Shady Mugs. So they did a couple promos like that, and I missed the game. And then I come home, see some social media stuff that somehow, I don't know, AB's upset about a Twitter account. And then he even put, well, they can just trade me. Well, that started controversy. He left the locker room right after he got dressed and changed, didn't talk to reporters. He was upset, arguing with Randy during the game, and, you know, was yelling
Coach
at other
Randy.
people.
Coach
Yeah, well,
Randy.
I got to
Coach
call him Randy because that's actually in there because he's Big Ben's buddy. So
It's Coach Randy.
yeah, I understand that, but they're a little more flexible than that than they were with Todd. So that's why I just called him Haley, but he's gone and he left us. So now AB leaves mad. Then he doesn't show up on Monday. I think we're paying him almost $19 million. And then I hear Coach Tomlin explaining it when they asked him a direct question, was he at practice? He said no. And why wasn't he there? He gave some story that he would see him today. Well, he could have seen him before his meeting, with the press, but he didn't. But he said he had some questions for him and some things we talk about, and he was basically interested in that we need a win, and I'm dealing in the reality of what we need to do. And he doesn't care about this social media and stuff like that. Well, I do, because a player missed it because of social media. So they asked Tomlin, did he ask to be traded? He said no. Then his agent come out and gave all kind of stories that he didn't ask to be traded and he had some personal issues. So now they're calling it a circus for the Steelers with good reason. I bleed black and gold, but I call it like it is. The defense never got improved. They talked about grabbing safeties and cornerbacks, having them play as linebackers. I never heard of a defense like that. So, they didn't replace Shazier. The guy they got, Bostic, was supposed to be good. Then he doesn't show up and do things like he should. Who knows what goes on? But the defense is definitely a problem. Then I hear a stat before I went to bed after the Steeler loss that there were 653 games where teams scored 37 points and had no turnovers, and there was only one loss. Like it was 652 and one.
Wow.
Until the Steelers lost a game that they scored 37 points and no turnovers.
Wow.
So it's the second loss in, 20 years, but 653 games were played.
Wow.
And they won almost all of them. How shocking is that?
Well, with the way that the Steelers are built this year, okay, it's quite simple that the equation that they need to fit into to win games, they've got to score between 40 and 50 points.
But they didn't get it.
Because, if they can just hold their opponents to 40, then there's a chance they'll win more than they lose.
I hate to say it, but Smoking Jim might be right. They don't want to be great. They just want to be 8-8.
But Alan, speaking about all the social media stuff, I don't think anything different is going on right now with any professional football team than has ever gone on. It's just now it's out there.
Yeah.
It's out there, and everything is out there for everybody to scrutinize. And well, we'll discuss this more later.
Yeah, we'll have some Steeler talk at the end of the show. But we're going to come back with some fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
We got great news from all this flooding, all this rain, very sad. But because of that, our Fantastic Four golf outing has been postponed. What's the new date?
October 1st, Monday, October 1st.
Okay, October 1st, Nemacolin Country Club on Route 40 in Bellsville, PA is the place, the location. Registration is at 10 o'clock. Shotgun start at 12 o'clock, and we are looking for golfers. We need corporate sponsors, and since we were delayed a month, now October 1st, it'll be fast approaching, but please give us a call. You could call me, Andy Amrine, 412-760-9614.
Or
you-
Christine McIntosh, 412-835-2207. Don't worry if you're not a golfer. You can still join us for dinner at 5 o'clock.
Dinner's at 5, and it'll be a great dinner. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great event. This is a charitable event. It benefits the Bethel Park Community Foundation, the Bethel Park Education Foundation, the Bethel Park Public Library, and the Bethel Park Historical Society. All the proceeds will be split evenly between the four groups. Golfers, dinner, sponsors, we could use it all, but there's only a few little spots left. So really, pick up that phone, give us a call, or stop down at the hardware store at the library.
The Bethel Park Fantastic Four Charities Golf Event, Monday, October 1st at the Nemacolin Country Club in Bellsville, PA. If you need to register as a golfer, you can do so by seeing Andy at EV True Value Hardware or myself at Bethel Park Public Library. You can also register online through the library's website at bethelparklibrary.org.
Running out of time, don't delay. Call us today.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. Thanks.
Whoa, camera, we need it on Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking
That one.
machine. Thanks, Chipper. And you
How
know
about
what?
thanks, Zach, making us
We
look
got-
so great?
We got a new rookie of the year. How about Zach?
Yeah, he could be rookie of the
The
year.
Gateway Gator Taylor in the house. But I
No,
tell you
he's
what,
no gateway guy.
I came
He's
close.
a Bethel Park kid.
I came close to buying a dog. Maybe by this time next week, I will have a
Smoking
dog.
Jim, I got my boots on because it's so deep in here. I'm getting a little moist.
Hey, speaking of animals, guess where I was last Friday?
The zoo.
Rumfish in Bridgeville. You ever eat there?
I've been there.
I've
Rumfish
eaten
Bar
food
and
from
Grill.
there. I've never
Man,
been
have you
there.
ever been outside, man? I thought I was in Hawaii.
Yeah.
But-
Why were you out there?
I did get a little bite to eat. They had a band going on.
Yeah, they had a big thing going
Yeah, I
on.
was surprised. I had a taste for some fish and chips.
How was Jody?
I had some taste.
I was Jody.
I had taste for
I
fish
was
and
Jody.
That's out by where she lives, right?
I was Jody.
But,
You
but-
can't be pulling the wool over me.
But here's
You got to get up pretty early and you don't sleep sometimes. So
how you
how'd
know
I?
it wasn't me and Snow out
No,
there?
it wasn't you and Snow because Snow doesn't live that way.
Yeah, and snow don't last outside.
You
when
know
it-
Snow?
when it's 85
He
degrees.
don't know Snow.
Snow's gonna melt when it's 85 degrees.
Yeah, and I said, I don't know Snow. He goes, oh, this is Snow.
But here's fiction and facts from Smoking Jim's Almanac. And you guys been around me long enough. You know we laugh and joke.
No, rarely.
Even though I go at it at Chip, you know, I'll never. Chip will forget more baseball than I'll ever know. And same way with Al Levine, the talking machine. I always tell Al he did a great job last night. Best interviewer I ever been around in my life. Just a natural at it. And,
Thank you, Smokey.
and I'm the greatest NFL scout on the planet, and nobody's even a close second. 2 years ago, I wasn't with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I was back with them this past year. First round draft choice, they're looking for a linebacker. I guaranteed them that this linebacker that was number one on my list would not only be the replacement for Shazier, but he'd be better than Shazier. So the first round comes up, the Pittsburgh Steelers pass on him because they never heard of him. So by the second round, of course, they could have traded out of the first round. They wanted Edmonds from Virginia Tech, who was only at the draft because he
As
was
a brother.
projected to go in the third or fourth round. His younger brother was a top 10 pick. That's the only reason he's at the draft. When the Steelers called him, when Coach Tomlin called him, he was doing the number 2 in the bathroom. So he had to get up. He had to get up and go. He's talking to him in the bathroom. So, but anyhow, he's
Can we verify that?
yeah. So he was shocked to get the call. Didn't think he'd get the call till the third day. So the Steelers basically could have traded out of the first round, got my linebacker and Edmonds in the same draft.
Who's
I
your
think,
linebacker?
and I think Marcus Allen from Penn State is better than Edmonds anyway. I think he's the best safety on the team. Now
Who was this masked man?
everybody knows I'm on the committee to pick the Black All-American team every year. This kid was a 4-year starter, a 3-year Black College All-American, 6'3", 250 pounds with 4.5 speed. Broke all of Deacon Jones's college records
Wow.
at South Carolina State, the same school that produced Donnie Shell. The Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm not knocking him, they never heard of him, small college kid. Most teams didn't. Indianapolis drafted him. Not only is he leading the NFL in tackles to this point, against Washington Sunday, he had 18 tackles. The most tackles a Steeler had was 6, and I'm still trying to find those 6. He had 18 tackles, a quarterback sack, a forced fumble, and a pass defense. He was named the NFL Defensive Player of the Week, and his name is Darius Leonard. I talked about him on this show before the draft. Darius Leonard from South Carolina State, the best linebacker I scouted in the last 15 years. Could play inside and outside, would have been perfect fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tackling machine. Way to go, Pittsburgh, for sticking with Bostic.
Thanks.
Pouncey's buddy, And that's the fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. The Pittsburgh Steelers, you blew it again.
Thank you, Smoking Jim. We appreciate you.
Hi, I'm Matt Hurley, one of the adult leaders with Cub Scout Pack 215. We wanted to take a moment to tell you that Pack 215 is doing its annual enrollment in September. Throughout the year, there's going to be so many fun activities for your Cub Scout and you and your family. Cub Scout program offers it all. It has outdoor fun, family values, citizenship, personal recognition and achievement, and definitely making and keeping new friends and working as a team. We also have special occasions such as museum sleepovers, camp outings, Cub Fun Day where the children can do archery and knot tying and hiking and even BB shooting when they get a little older. Camping at this age is just introductory. It gets you an idea of how the Boy Scout program operates. It really is a unique place where you combine outdoor fun, learning about citizenship, family values. Cub Scout Pack 215 is for kids in kindergarten through 5th grade. It is the entry-level program before the Boy Scouts. We're affiliated with Memorial Elementary School in Bethel Park. We have dens that make up our packs. Dens are comprised of children in a similar age group. Pack meetings are once a month. Dens meet twice a month, typically a meeting and/or another event. The cost for the year is $120, and that covers all pack-sponsored events and, of course, all the equipment and things we need to run the pack. After you join, you get a chance to participate in fundraisers, and the kids can draw off those fundraisers for future tuition. Special events and optional outings that the pack hosts can be done at a separate charge. An important part of the Cub Scout program is the Cub Scout uniform. The uniform is an important part of Scouting as it shows the advancement that Scouts achieve, with various patches and ranks that get sewn on as they make further achievement through the ranks of Lion, Tiger, Wolf, Bear, and Weeblo Scouts. The uniform is purchased separately at Flag Plaza in the city. Cub Scouts is a unique and awesome program for yourself and the entire family. It really is a unique place where you combine outdoor fun, learning about citizenship, family values, activities with friends. Cub Scout program offers it all. Please check us out, www.cubscouts215.com, and we hope to hear from you.
Hi, good evening, everybody. And just a couple of things I wanted to bring to everybody's note. Did you know that there's a championship being played for here in Western PA this evening?
No.
Okay. Now, the Joliet Slammers are playing the Washington Wild Things in Game 5 of the championship series in the Frontier League.
I was there last week.
Let's go Wild Things,
I was there last week at their game when they lost 3-1.
Okay, so the series is tied 2-2. Game 5 for it all, happening right now. If you get in your car, you can make it to Washington by the 3rd inning, which is just about the time Jim shows up to a baseball game.
Well, here, long story short, I invited him to go to the game last week, and Bill Franciscus picked me up with his girlfriend and son. We had Section C right behind home plate, seats 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Did his son have a cowboy hat on too?
No.
No. Well, you know how Jim is with cowboy hats. So anyhow, let's go Wild Things. How about bringing another championship into Western PA? So I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of that. Pirates right now are tied nothing in the 2nd inning against the Kansas City Royals. Jamison Tyon's pitching. But something happened last night in Major League Baseball that has never happened in the history of the game. Christian Yelich, an outfielder for the Milwaukee Brewers, hit for the cycle for the 2nd time in a month. He's the first player in the history of organized baseball to bat for the cycle twice in one season. Now, Jim, you may ask, what's a cycle? Cycle is when a batter gets a single, a double, a triple, and a home run in a 9-inning game.
Wow.
Okay, so he's
hard
done it.
to do.
He's done it twice, and there's something even more amazing because of all the ridicule and criticism that the Pirates have gotten. The Pirates probably have 2 players playing tonight that have hit for the cycle this year in AAA in the same game, and that has never happened before in the history of baseball. Kevin Kramer and Jacob Stallings both hit for the cycle in the same game for the Indianapolis Indians. Happened back in August.
They keep those stats in AAA?
Oh, they keep them all. But that doesn't count as to what
Baseball's
I'm
all
about to
the
do
stats,
here.
buddy.
What I have here is a list in the history of Major League Baseball of every batter that has hit for the cycle since the inception of organized baseball, and the number of players that have done that in 100 and close to 20 years, 25 years, 130 years.
1867 was when they first started.
322 times a player has hit for the cycle. Now, just to give you an idea of, it's a fairly rare event, but there's been one year there was more cycles hit for than any other season in
What
Major
year?
League history, 2009.
Get out.
8 times, 8 different players hit for the cycle that year.
Smoking Jim remembers it because he knew about baseball then.
Last year,
He
in
knew.
2017, there were 7 cycles hit for in the same
Wow.
season, and that was matched by one other season in the year of 1890. 7 cycles were hit for.
Wow.
Okay, so that leads me as to how does this all tie in to Western Pennsylvania baseball?
Yeah.
Well, I've gone through my list here, and you guys can all breathe a sigh of relief. I'm not going through the list one by one. Okay.
Whoa, I got a little
Yeah,
nervous.
we don't. Yeah, we'll be here till midnight. But I did count through the number of times that a member of the Pittsburgh Alleghenies / Pirates have hit for the cycle. 24 cycles have been hit
Wow.
for by somebody in a Pittsburgh Pirates uniform. And it started way, way back in May 2nd, 1887, by none other than Fred Carroll of the Pittsburgh Alleghenies.
You're kidding me.
Wouldn't lie to you about that, Alan.
All right.
We'll see. I didn't highlight these, so it's going to take me a second. But we'll just go through the Pirates because there's been some guys that have done it more than once.
The Bill Master roster?
July 23rd, Fred Clark for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Fred Clark did it a second time in May 7th, 1903. And you'd be surprised at the people that aren't on this list. Honus Wagner hit for the cycle. Ed Lennox for the Pittsburgh Rebels of the Federal League,
Wow.
1914. I missed him, so that does make 25. August 30th, 1921, Dave Robertson. Pie Trainer, July 7th, 1923.
Pie's the man. Who can?
Kiki
America.
Kyler on June 4th, 1925. What's significant about 1925, Jim? The
Bucko
Pittsburgh Pirates won a
championship.
world championship.
Really?
Yes, they did. And Max Carey did it on June 20th, 1925. Now you know what happened in 1925, right?
Sure
They had a
do.
good team.
As we cruise the list, Archie Vaughn, 1933, June the 24th, against the Brooklyn Dodgers. So you'll recognize some of these names, Jim, but there's going to be one name that's going to be conspicuous by its absence. Archie Vaughn of the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1939.
He wasn't black, was he?
I doubt it.
No.
Bob Elliott in 1945, July the 15th. Bill Salkeld, August 4th, 1945. Wally Westlake on July 30th, 1948. Wally Westlake did it a second time. There's an answer to a trivia
Is he a
question
Hall of
for you.
Famer?
I doubt it. But Ralph Kiner, who is a Hall of Famer, June 25th, 1950, and he also won 7 home run championships consecutively.
Wow,
That's one
amazing.
after another. Okay.
Thanks for explaining that, Chip.
Gus Bell did it June 4th, 1951. Now we're getting close to the time where there should be some players' names that you recognize. July 22nd, 1964. Willie Stargell hit for his
recognize
cycle.
that.
Do you recognize that name? Keep rolling down, and we get past 1972, so we know that somebody never hit for the cycle. Mr. Clemente never hit for the cycle, but the man that took Roberto's place in right field hit for the cycle, Richie Zisk.
I liked him.
Okay, the hitman, Mike Easler, June 12th, 1980.
Why y'all call him the Hitman?
That's because that's what he
He
did.
could hit.
He could hit. As after he left the Pirates, he became the hitting coach for the Boston Red Sox. Now we get to 1989. Gary Redus, the Pittsburgh Pirates, who played most of his career with the Cincinnati Reds. He hit for the cycle for the Pirates. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. Jason Kendall did it May 19th, 2000.
That's my man.
The first one to do it at PNC Park. Darrell Ward did it May 26, 2004. And last but not least, let me see. Let me double check my facts
Go
here.
ahead, check it again.
Check it again.
Barry Bonds did it in 19.
He never did it. Yeah, Barry Bonds never did it. Never even batted. His career batting average wasn't even 300. The last Pirate to hit for the cycle, who somebody who was criticized constantly for his play, John Jaso. September 28th, 2016, hit for the cycle against the Cubs. So Christian Yelich of the Brewers hit for the cycle August 29th against the Reds, and again against the Reds last night. Quite an accomplishment. But the thing that sticks in my mind about Christian Yelich, when the Pirates were playing the Brewers this weekend, they ran on him 3 times. 3 times he didn't throw out a single runner. So he may be able to hit. It kind of sounds like somebody else we know, huh? Could hit a ton, couldn't throw out Sid Bream.
Well, for somebody to hit a cycle, that means the pitcher is throwing him a big, fat, juicy one over the plate.
May have been more than one pitcher. It's not all the hits are against one
Smoking
pitcher.
Jim, why are you looking for negativity? It's quite an accomplishment. You didn't even know what the cycle was till you've been on Pittsburgh Sports.
So what are you
know
trying
it
to say to me
now.
when somebody comes up to bat and they're the 26, there's been 26 outs and it's a perfect game? You're telling me the last batter's not trying to get a hit? You know, I mean, do you remember what? Who was it? Josh Harrison.
He
did?
don't even remember any.
Josh Harrison did to Max Scherzer. Leaned into one in the 9th inning, broke up his perfect game.
Wow. 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 And that hamstring ain't been the same since.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's why you shouldn't keep him on a string.
All right. Thanks, Chip, with an assist from Smoking Jim Frazier for your trivia. We appreciate that. On location, thanks, Zach. I appreciate the graphic. Great job. On location, we had a great show on Monday night. We actually had a couple cancellations, and we had 2 great guys. One wrote the book, The Pride of Pittsburgh, about a boxer, his great-great-grandfather. What a story he had to tell about that. Vince did a great job explaining it, and you can get that book, The Pride of Pittsburgh, all around the area. Jack McClelland, related to the McClellans and the coroner that was here and all this other stuff. Then we had another guy who Attila Domos recommended I talk to. And he had told me that he swam 7 oceans. And so I was surprised. And sure enough, he told the story how he raises money for cancer and a couple foundations that he has at Children's Hospital. Darren Miller, just a great show. He can talk. I let him out-talk the talking machine.
Is that possible?
It was possible. I let him roll
I
because he
thought I
explained.
gave you a run for your money.
You have. You've given me a run each time, but I conceded, gave my hat up, and said, "You're the champ," and he did it. He talked about swimming at night, getting stung by jellyfish, and getting poisoned, and swimming for hours, 12 hours. He did the English Channel. That was the first swim he had, the English Channel in 12 hours. His wife, who's a cancer survivor, did it in like 47 minutes less than he did. So imagine that family of swimmers there. Unbelievable. We had a great show. Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Frank Fanera is a great owner of the venue. He was there. He gave me some Italian ice, watermelon Italian ice that was delicious. I enjoyed every spoon in front of smoking Jim Frazier. But it was a great time. And we'll be back again October 8th at Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 930 Brookline Boulevard. Already got guests lined up. Mike Draculich of Pittsburgh Sports Nation will be there. He's married. He's going to bring his wife on the show.
Right.
So we'll have a dynamic duo there. I got the winner of the Joey Fabus 5K run, Lauren Woodring. She's there, and the guy who won it, Ray, they'll be guests. So we got a bunch of guests already lined up, and we'll have a fun time October 8th, 7:30 to 8:30. Check out our on location at that time. And we're going to come back to some Steeler talk. So get ready for talking about our Steelers.
Hey, it's Christine from Bethel Park Library. I want to tell you about a great fundraiser we have going on. You can take home a print of this cute sloth, painted by local artist Maria Prasic, was inspired by Vivian, the sloth that lives at the National Aviary. The original painting will be housed at the Bethel Park Library forevermore, but you can own a 16 by 20 print for $50. You can purchase it at the Bethel Park Public Library or through the library's website at bethelparklibrary.org.
Snoring.
Welcome back. Thanks for not changing that dial. We got about 10 minutes to go. We got to talk Steelers. I missed one of the few times that I missed every minute of the Steeler game, and I wasn't worried about it because I don't expect too much of them right now. They got to get that circus under control. I saw that James Conner only had about 18 yards, but they were so far behind. How could they even have a running game? Then I saw a stat that blew my mind. 39 of 60. Big Ben threw 60 passes.
Anytime Ben throws the ball more than 50 times, the Steelers more often than not
They're
lose.
losers.
They
Yeah.
lose. He's
So-
got no business throwing the ball 50 times. If he's throwing the ball 50 times, I can tell you that it's an L.
Yeah. Well, I understand it. I'm bleeding that black and gold, and I'm waiting for the first win. I don't know. Smoking Jim, what are they going to do this week coming up?
Well, Pittsburgh Steelers are going to get beat again this
Oh,
week.
no.
Going into Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is so talented offensively. Like we said last year, it's no surprise. I thought the Pittsburgh Steelers needed to score 38 points a game. I was predicting they would do that and break the NFL record that was set by Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos in 2013. Of course, that was before Le'Veon Bell decided to hold out, and they got rid of Martavis Bryant, who can take the top coverage off. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense is only getting worse because their defensive coordinator, number one, it shouldn't be in that particular job.
Who is it?
Keith Butler. You can't spell cat if you spotted him seeing the T. Just going.
You've never talked kindly of him.
Well, it's because he's a career linebacker coach that they're putting in a position that he's not
Hold it.
suited
Is it
for.
true that Tomlin calls some of the signals and ignores him?
I really don't know what Coach Tomlin does.
Yeah, I heard that he's calling
So
some
you're telling me
defensive
Joey
signals.
Porter's is the defensive coordinator in waiting?
Well, in waiting would be Bradley, Tom Bradley. That's who I would. I would either go after a defensive coordinator, but no matter who you bring in there, you're only putting
Don't
a
you need
Band-Aid on
players?
it. Yeah, you need players. It's not the X's and O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
My dad
Well,
always
you know-
said you got to have the horses.
This is
But here's the reason, just 1 second, Chip, and I'll let you go. Another reason they're going to lose on Monday night is because their offensive line is in disarray right now. They got some brittle brothers that are starting to get hurt. DeCastro got a broken hand.
He's no brother.
Yeah, but you got Ramon Foster who's hurting right now, and you also got 77, Marcus Gilbert with a hamstring. So of all those guys on play on Monday night,
Hold
what
it. You
gonna
don't
do?
even like Gilbert.
No, I can't stand him. But they have no
He's
backup.
like an open gate.
They have an African
He's like
backup.
a swinging gate.
Yeah.
so. Here's what my thoughts are.
Yes, sir.
Jim is guaranteed that the Steelers are not going to win in Tampa Bay on
I got
Monday
money
night.
on Tampa Bay.
And I would be willing to venture a bold prediction and say the Steelers will win and win handily on Monday night because guess what's going to happen Monday morning? Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to wake up and remember he's Ryan Fitzpatrick. Okay? And if anybody has seen him throughout his career, he's had one, maybe two good games. But Ryan Fitzpatrick is playing so far above his head right now, it can't continue. And I don't care how bad the Steelers defense is. Now, it seems to me, everybody wants to blame the coaching, and I'm a very strong advocate of let's not look at the coaching so much as the coaches aren't on the field missing tackles, miscommunicating to their teammates, calling the wrong formations, or whatever. So, the players need to get off of social media, get their heads out of their butts, and get on the same page as one another and play together as a unit instead of, we've got right now 52 individuals, okay? And to me, that 52 individuals don't make a team. They all need to get on the same page and pull the rope in the same direction, And it starts with, you got Le'Veon Bell. He cares about nothing other than himself. He doesn't care about his teammates or anything else. So, okay, if that's the way he's going to be, fine. We don't need him. When he shows up, believe me, the red carpet isn't going to be rolled out for him, and he's going to whine and he's going to cry. But he did this to himself, got nobody to blame. But, right now it just seems like the Steelers, they spent all this time in training camp. They go to practice, 5 days a week. Of course, they got to get Tuesdays off, you can't get
CBA.
yeah.
CBA.
But the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, and especially on defense. You look at them when they're lining up, and I personally did not see a snap of Sunday's game, but from what I heard, they're getting down to the quarterbacks under center, and the defenders are looking at each other like, you got him? Who's got him? And they don't know what they're doing. So, that seems to me like something that can be fixed. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, It's a tough season, especially when you're winless in your first 2 games. I mean, that's what's shocking in itself. I mean, they did start, what, a few years ago, 0-4, and come back from that. So
Yeah, and they finished the season 8-4 that year. But you know, as Jim always said, you know, you never be great if all you strive to be is 8-8.
yeah. We heard that many times in a row.
Hey, it's profound, and I give Jim credit for it. You know what I mean? You got to give my man his props. So you know, this is where the Steelers are at right now. Are they capable of playing? You know, I don't know if they're capable of giving up less than 30 points. You know, you looked at what the Cleveland Browns did, but then again, those are the Cleveland Browns. Okay, now we've actually played a real football team with a real head coach last week, and you know, and once again, we're down 3 touchdowns, and you know, you can't start games like that. We don't have a defense that can keep us in the game while you know, it takes us, what, 4 series to get caught up, okay? But somehow in that period of time, they're going to give up another one,
Yeah.
you know, and that's exactly what
Well,
happened.
what about who has the ball at the end of the game? That's what I'm worried about. Because if you're not stopping them on many drives, they go down and score.
Well, you know, when the Steelers had a chance to get the ball at the end of the game, what do? They rough the kicker so that the Chiefs get the ball back, 1 snap, game over, they run the clock out.
Yeah.
You know, just you know, that isn't coaching right there. That's the players on the field, and they should know better. They're professionals. You should know you don't run into the kicker.
Well,
You know,
my thing is 2 games into it, I got to blame some of the coaches because aren't you supposed to show them some of these things and have some continuity on the field instead of looking around for everybody?
and I agree with you to a point, Alan. But let me tell you this: when you get to the pros, if you have to be taught how to play football, then you should have never made it to the pros in the first place.
Yeah, but we see it all the time.
Yeah.
Look at tackling and other type
Tackling.
of things.
Well,
right?
obviously, tackling is not something that we practiced because the Chiefs scored on 6 consecutive series. So, I mean, the way we stopped them was letting them score.
Well, the one thing I would never pay a kicker.
I'm good.
I would never pay a kicker $5 million, and looks like they're not getting their investment back in that kicker.
Yeah.
What kicker?
Bosley, is it?
No.
Boswell.
The Wizard of
Boswell.
Boz.
Yeah, but what about that punter? He's doing
He's
bad.
doing terrible,
He's bad,
too.
And then
Hey, we're going to have to wind this show down.
Okay.
We're running out
we
of
want you to
time.
be able to give your sign off, Alan.
Yeah, we're gonna have to end this. Thanks to Zach for getting the show going. Thanks to Dave Cable for coming in to get us started. We appreciate it, Zach, and thanks to the BP community, and thanks to all of you guys for watching our show and enjoying our sports talk. Been doing this since October, I think, 21st of 2011. So thank you very much. And this is Al Levine, Chip Hayner, Smoking Jim Frazier. Please stay Joey strong.